Hey y'all, today I'm going to be sharing my recent foundation routine. A few months ago, I kind of switched things up with my foundation. I wanted more of like a luminous, glowy look that was still appropriate for work other than my falsies. Without further ado, let's just go right into the video. So I always start off with my eyes and then I will go in with my foundation. Recently I've been mixing Studio Fix Fluid with MAC Face and Body. I like the coverage that the Studio Fix foundation gives you, but then also the Face and Body gives more of a dewy, luminous finish. And so when you mix the two, it's more of a satin natural finish rather than a matte or a super dewy look. I usually take one pump of the Studio Fix Fluid and then I'll just do about a dollop of the Face and Body. And then I'll mix it with the top of my beauty blender. I dab it all around my face first, usually where I need more coverage, so that would be in my T-zone area. That's where I get most of my hyperpigmentation and any dark spots. My serum hasn't lightened up yet. So I use patting motions to blend that into the skin, and then I do take that along my jawline and blend it into my neck. In Studio Fix Fluid, I am currently NC25. I do find that the Studio Fix Fluid oxidizes. You might want to try going a shade down when you try the Fix Fluid, because once it oxidizes, it gets a tiny bit darker on your skin. And then for the Face and Body, I use C3. Next step is concealer. I'm using MAC's Pro Longwear Concealer in NC20. I'll usually just take a pump of that and put it right on the tip of my beauty blender. And then I will usually just pat once, just to get the product onto my face. And then I smooth it into an upside down triangle or as best of one as I can. Then I just use patting motions to blend it into the skin. When I'm kind of in my nose area and right under the eyes, I use the tip of the beauty blender. And then as I'm blending it out on the cheekbone, I use the side of the beauty blender. Oh, should be getting crazy. I like to set my concealer pretty quickly. So next I'm taking my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. It has like these little shimmery reflex in it. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna buy it again, but it does do a good job of like brightening. I like to take it on a Real Technique setting brush and then I just pat it on my concealer. And I like to use patting motions, not sweeping motions, even if there's like a bit more powder. I'm not necessarily baking, but if there's excess powder, we'll always wipe that off later on. I like to set the rest of my face after I've done all of my other powder products. I just feel like it's a little bit more natural looking if I apply all of my powder products and then use a powder to set the foundation that, you know, doesn't have any other powder on top of it yet. So now I'm going to be bringing in a little bit more life to my face using a bronzer. I have been using MAC's Give Me Sun MSF. So I just take my angled brush from MAC and I just dab the product and then just kind of move it around to get any excess off. And so on a daily basis, I don't like use contouring powders or anything like that. I just use bronzer to kind of like give me a little bit more shape with my cheeks and around my forehead. I'm going to start by doing more of like a diagonal line. For me, that's how I think it looks better on my cheekbones. Okay. And then I like to take whatever still is on my brush and go along the hairline on the same side. Takes off like a majority of the product. Once I do that, I like to go back and blend a little bit more where I had the bronzer. Next, I do my blush, and just really depends on my mood for the day. I'll pick one of my MAC blushes. Recently, I've really been liking this one right here in the middle. I believe that one is Harmony. Some people will use it as a contouring powder, but for me, it looks more of just like a dark neutral, which I like. So then I just take this blush brush that I've had, take it on here, smile, and then gently sweep it on my cheeks. Gives you like the perfect flushing look, like without it being pink. I know it looks kind of crazy, but I promise you we're going to blend it out here in a little bit. Then I like to do my brows. Because I use a brow powder, I like to do my brows before I set my foundation. I feel like it gives it a little bit more adhesive before I set it all with powder. So I'm using the Anastasia By Brow powder, and this one is in dark brown. Take the darkest side and I put a line at the bottom of my brow. Then I make a little tail at the end. Then I like to make not an intense line, but kind of just draw an outline of the top of my brow. Then I take the lighter side and then I use that to kind of help fill in the middle and the inner part of my brow. I like how my brow threader lady kept my brows because, you know, I was letting them grow out for a while because they had made it so freaking thin, and so they were getting kind of bushy, like really intensely bushy, but I just was living with it because I wanted my eyebrows to get thick again, and she did a good job. She left like some hairs right here and right here to keep my brows thick as I like. Now that that's all done, then I like to go in and set my foundation. I have been using Hourglass's Dim Light Powder, and I just take a big fluffy brush and load up on it. I kind of go crazy with this stuff. And so I really only hit the places that I don't have any other powder product. So right here in the middle of my T-zone, my nose, my chin, like down here, and then once I have that all set, then I'll go in and blend it all out. Then I go and put my mascara on my bottom lashes, since I leave that alone obviously until my concealer and my powder and all that other stuff is all done with. So I have been using the Shiseido mascara base first. I've been using this for like, I don't know, almost 10 years. Then I take Maybelline's Last Sensational. Then I will put on my highlight. I'm using Soft and Gentle MSF. This is the freaking best highlighter I have ever used. It is so beautiful and so luminous without being like sparkly. Put that at the very tops of my cheeks, and I'm using this kind of really fluffy brush, and then I just go back and forth with it. And that's really the only spot that I like to have highlight on. During the day, I will just naturally become super glowy in my T-zone area because I'm oily, and so that's why I leave those areas alone. And I'm personally not into the nose highlight. I get a natural nose highlight from my oils, so I leave that alone as well. Every now and then I will put some highlighting powder right here on my eyes. Why don't I just go ahead and do that? I'll just show y'all. Not every single day, but whenever I'm wanting to feel a little more bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, I always use MAC Rice Paper highlighter. Looks great for anyone with warm colored skin. And the brush, where the heck is this brush? Hello? Real Techniques Base Shadow Brush. I just like how fluffy it is. A MAC 217 would also work, but I just get it on the very tip. That's what she said. And I just pop it right there on the corners. Literally, I'm just dabbing right there on the corner. C-shape to hug the inner corner of your eye. And then I just finish it up with whatever lip combo I feel like that particular day. Today I'm going to be using MAC Soar Lip Liner. And I like to pair that with MAC Modesty lipstick. Now just to take off any extra powder, gives your face just this really nice, smooth, kind of glowy finish. Not super crazy glowy, but just a bit. I'm going to spray down my face with MAC Fix Plus. And that is the completed look. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to y'all in my next video. Oh, shoot. Thought I turned you off. Hello. Hi. Love you. I'm filming a video. Okay. If y'all hear any pooping in the background or farting, then I died from coughing.